We'll have to remember this spot because this is going to be a crazy cut. Oh, there goes, that's a big buck. So I think that's where I'll keep the camera, but I think this is where I'm going to kill a deer. It is September 1st. We're out here on Big Woods Public Land and we're doing a quick trail cam check this morning. We're a little bit of ways yet from the camera, but I didn't see any sign. There hasn't been sign of people parking or anything where I parked. There's tracks everywhere coming in here. And these trails and these ferns going back to my camera are destroyed. There it is. Looks like something was messing with my camera though. It's really crooked. It looks like it got pulled down even. I wonder if I got a bear attacking it. So the camera still has full battery. And there is pictures. So June 27th was the first picture. So maybe a small buck. It's really foggy. There's another doe checking the scrape I made. We got a buck. A decent buck. He's really hanging around. Just a young buck. A small buck again. Right behind the tree, got another buck. Lift your head. It might be a different one. Doesn't look really mature. Small buck running through. Another buck. It looks like it has mass, but I don't see anything as far as another decent buck. Another small buck. Heavy little 8-point. It doesn't look like a big old buck though. It looks like he has a flyer. There's the bear. Oh, so it was a mom with cubs messing with my camera literally yesterday. We did not get that buck to come down. What I think I'm going to do, because we didn't get that big buck on this camera, I think I'm gonna go back and go to that creek crossing and go to that scrape that's tucked in there, back by that knob where I bumped that buck out, and put it there because I wanna know what's back here. But none of those deer I saw seemed like a big enough body other than that solid 8-point maybe, but I don't know. Those tracks I saw were, I think, too big for him, but you never know. This is the pinch right here. It's got one trail going through it here. You got a down tree right here. You got this tree down here, and those trees are all down over here. So this is the only way right here that he gets through up to his knob to come down this way. I could go up this tree here and just get up in this little notch and use the cover. And I might be able to shoot that clearing over there as well. But everything goes back to where that scrape was and all those rubs. So I think that's where I'll keep the camera. But I think this is where I'm going to kill a deer. Yeah. This tree here, behind this one here that I said I was going to set up in, but in order for me to get up high enough to shoot over this stuff, I wouldn't be able to get a shot in any of this. But I can use this as cover. If I'm in this tree here, then I'll definitely have a shot out here. I would just have to get to a certain height where I can shoot through this stuff. And that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, this tree has no limbs on it, so I should be able to get however I need to be to shoot through these gaps here and just find a gap for that right there next to that down tree. Because they're either wrapping that down tree or they're coming between them here. Just 20-yard chip shot. And with this gap here from this tree, I can still shoot this cross trail here. Right down in there. And then I can also, obviously, I have a wide open shots over on the edge of this clearing over here where they're also traveling through. So we're going to put the camera back here where all those rubs are and make a mock scrape and try and get the does to hit this heavy, because then we know this tree will be a good kill tree to get that buck to come down. And then if that scrape becomes active, you should want to go hit it. And to give you a better idea of how they're forced, you can see those trees down there. That tree I want to hunt is right here, and those fallen over trees are pinching them on this side. And then as they get down here, we have this tree pinching them here. It's thick here. And we have this tree pinching them here. But then we have very defined trails coming in here, and this is where all those rubs are. So I'm gonna make a scrape in here under this tree here. They probably browse on, actually. It looks like the same tree as that other area where those bucks were literally eating it. But we have a lot of historical sign in here with rubs, and we know there's that giant rub up on that knob. So we're gonna make the scrape in here in a good spot and hopefully get to see where all these deer are, and then we can come in and check it before we hunt. I'm gonna try and put the camera on this side though, so I can check the camera and then scoot out. I made 2 mock scrapes here. There's already some scratching in the one, but I made 2 separate ones just so they have maybe a preference or really saturate the area here a little bit. But I used the interdigital on the ground. I used the pre-orbital on the licking branches, and I also did 1 spray of pre-orbital on 3 of the biggest rubs we have here. Hopefully we get a whole different batch of bucks back here, because this is like a little oasis back here. And we know there's beech nuts everywhere, so if this is where he prefers the bed and he knows that there's pressure out there and he doesn't want to go out there, or he just likes it in here better because obviously it's super thick, then maybe this is where that big buck is. That is literally just staying within his little core area until he starts moving around more when it gets closer to end of October. It is September 6th, and I'm going to an area I've never been before, but it's an area that my gut's telling me I need to get into and at least check it out. So the plan is I'm going to go in and work this area that is very remote, and then we're going to wrap down, and I'm going to move my other camera. I'm going to backdoor into the place, and I'm going to go deeper in and try and figure out where these bucks are bedding and how they're using it when they're in the area. But I literally just walked into the woods here where I wanted to start, and we already have some historical sign. The reason I wanted to check this area is because it has a lot of food, but it is also very remote. It has everything they need back here, and there's probably very little hunting pressure. It took me a long time to get back here, but it's one of those places I felt like I just had to get into, so today's the day. I don't know how much I'll be videoing most of my scouting trip today, just because it's periodically raining, and I literally just got this new camcorder yesterday, so nothing like going out the first time with it when it's freaking raining. You can see the terrain is starting now. Almost to it. Our sign should get infinitely better up here. Now we're getting close to the terrain, and I'm a little surprised to see this, because this isn't even on my map, so they must have literally just cut this. But there might be a path across it, because you can see the terrain right here, which this was supposed to be hardwoods on my map. So we're gonna go up and see if they're working across this, because this looks like a great spot. This will be amazing though. I want to get up here and just get a look and see if there is anything working through it. So we do have one decent track right there, kind of splayed though. Trying to come down into here. This is thick. We'll have to remember this spot because this is going to be a crazy cut. Oh, there goes, that's a big buck. Well, he was in the middle of that mess. He couldn't even run through it. He's better right down there. And he was on the low, so he was catching all the thermals. Have to mark that. How the heck do you hunt that? He literally can see everything. So he's in a cut that's not even on the map. I guess we'll loop around and see how he's exiting and entering this. He doesn't know what it was because he stopped and turned around. Who needs trail cameras, right? Who cares if all my cameras fail? You don't need them. Trying to get around, but you can see he was bedded over to the left of this pine tree, I believe. I'll have to look at the video to see for sure because everything looks the same. But the train line I'm on here, and then he went up the other one, so he's literally in a thermal hub right there. I don't think he's gonna come out of this cut before dark. Like I'm hoping there's a beat down trail to get in there, but there's no way you can get there without him seeing you, hearing you, or smelling you with these thermal hubs. And he was completely by himself. He's probably still up there in that top ridge watching me, but we're gonna work this edge and try and figure out where he went in at least. And we might put a trail camera, I don't know, somewhere here or in the other area, because we don't really need to put a camera in here because we just saw him. I mean, worst comes to worst, you just wait till rifle season, right? And just walk up and shoot him. That could always work. But again, trust your gut. Because my gut was screaming to me that I had to get back in this area based on everything I've seen and my trail camera data from like 2 miles away maybe. My gut told me I had to get back in here, and I didn't know this fresh cut was here. And I didn't expect them to be in there already, but I bet you he used that thermal hub before it got cut. So I think I know exactly what he's doing now, or at least I have a good guess. Because he was bedded right down in here in this little thermal hub, right with the elevation surrounding it. And then if he comes all the way out this ridge here, it ties right into the other clear cut right there. Which means that on this little finger of woods, there should be a scrape or sign. So we'll cut over. I don't really want to mess with his bedding area because he's probably still up there and he has no idea what happened. But if he's bedding down there, I don't see him going the other way because it's really just hardwoods. Now he could, but it's not worth me pushing in there and messing that all up because as of right now, I have the advantage on this buck. But I can stay up here and look over and see the trails maybe and see exactly where they're moving, and then come out here and try and make a camera or something or a scrape right there and put it up just to get an idea. But I'd like to know when he's in here and how often, or other bucks even, and see what's going on. Because if he's in here, there's never only one big buck usually in an area. There's probably more than one, because if he's getting to the age he needs to be, then there's other deer that are as well. Just bumped another big body deer on the other side of this. I couldn't tell if it was a big doe or a different buck, but I didn't see any huge antlers. But you can see here where they're kind of running this trail down. Or there's probably a better one on that side there. But this all goes right down to where he was bedded down in there. So I think, man, I don't want to mess this up too much, but I got to figure out how to hunt this and access this now. Because that looks like the best way through. Of one hop over that. Or up there, yeah. Look it up there. Looks like a good trail. They all look like good trails until you get on them. But if we get another northwest wind, and he's likely to bed there again, if we can just sneak down this, or I don't really want to get skylined up there. So even if we came the way we came from this finger that they're not using, there was a trail, but it wasn't very well used as what I'm expecting over at that wood lot next to the other clear cut. But if I came along this and stayed low and just took my time getting down in here, because the only way I'm going to kill this buck is if I get decently close. I think he was right down there. But you can see how they're working the low spot here more. But it looks like we have a good trail coming right across this out to where he was down in here. Oh, this is tough. Such a hard spot to hunt. I don't want to come in from that way and just blow out the trails, because that deer was up there. So if I come through here and they snort and then they run down through this, he's not going to come out. I'd like to get down in here and then work up that right edge and keep that cover in front of me and get one of these trees here and just hope that he would walk like that 60 yards there to come to where I can shoot him. Because he is in there deep. We're going to back out now and go check that finger. Yeah, so this finger butts up right against the other clear cut. So we should see a really good trail up here on the edge where I expect him to go in. Yeah, look at this trail right here. They're just weaving in and out of this. We make a scrape in here, it's going to be one of those big community scrapes again where everything comes and finds it. Man, the wind is all over the place today. But I think out here where all this meets would be a great place for a scrape. At least that's where I want them to go to. So you got this trail right here that's carved into the ground. You got another one over here where it looks like they changed because that tree fell over to loop around it a little bit. And that other clear cut looks perfect for food. And why is that buck down over there? Because nobody is getting back here through this stuff. It's just a mess, but it's perfect for browse. But they're not going to want to travel or bed in it because it's so dang thick. But they have an easy wood lot in between both of them to get out of here. We made the scrape, pre-orbital interdigital on all these branches here, and I also put pre-orbital on the rub itself. And we're putting the camera up here so that way we can catch anything entering and going through this area in case they don't hit this scrape. But I'm guessing since I put the scent on it, the deer are going to come in here, and if we can get does to start using this, or even him to come in and check it, we can try and train them, because I don't think my scent's going to be too bad in here. It's going to be a washout, and I'm probably not going to video much until I get to the other camera. We'll check that one quick, and then we'll get it down deeper into where I think the bucks are bedding. But I'm probably going to put the camera away because it is starting to rain pretty hard. There's just highways going through this thing, and all sides dipping down. And the one I came in on is a main trail right here that goes out along that. And it's a very defined trail. I'm checking, this is the furthest one. It's kind of close to my cam, but to get to it from my camera is like impossible. So I had to kind of go around. But I'm just going to check this because these are the places I think these bucks are hiding, that everyone else is seeing on the trail cameras, but they're not getting close enough to kill them, is because these places are really protected because of all the cover around them. There's the doe sign everywhere up here. This is a little backside of the swamp out here, but it looks like a freaking meadow. There's an old rub right there. Historical rub. Look at this. I would love to find an apple tree out here or something. It's just a wide open little field on the other side of a swamp. I think that is an apple tree. You can see the swamp out there. There's no way to get to this from the other way. This is really high browse cover. I don't see any apples on it. This looks like it was an apple tree though, but I don't see anything on it. This is cool in here. There's beavers in the swamp slapping their tails at me, but we're just gonna keep going back to those 3 knobs. So we followed trails down there for a while, and it led to steeper terrain down here. There was only one trail going through and nothing really going up and down. So I backtracked a little bit, and I got to the end of the first knob here where I followed that trail right up into it, and it came along this, and then there was that bed down below down there. But there is a great trail here going down in, but the main trail is right here, and it dives right down this, down to where we were on the same trail, but it has a bunch of trails coming off of this, but more importantly, there's a trail going up this as well. So I put the camera on that tree there because we have a scrape right here that hasn't been opened recently, but up here right in front of the camera we have one that has been opened recently. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate both scrapes, and I put the camera here even though it's going to be kissing the deer on this one. I'll get them walking this way or coming up this way, and I'll also get this one too because I want to be able to hit both scrapes because it seems like they're coming right up to this little point of this knob here before they head out or go up. So this is definitely going to be the best place that I can literally just reactivate the scrapes, and they're obviously using this a lot based on the trails, and it goes into what I'm guessing here with this knob bedding all throughout this, and then this high ridge, and then this knob here. So that way we have this overlooked bedding, but we have guaranteed movement, and we should get a lot of pictures. So we're going to let this camera soak